Guys, today we are looking at Tidjane Salaün, the French forward from Cholet Basket, and that is maybe the only time I'm going to try to pronounce his name because that took a lot of practice to get it down. He's around 6'9", 210 pounds or so. I think his wingspan is more than 7 feet, but that's not confirmed. And from what I heard on the NBA cast, he also got a late start to basketball, which is interesting because when you watch him play, and let's just get right into it, he's got a good feel for the game of basketball. Now, consistently, has he put it all together? Absolutely not. But you see the flashes and you see the ideas that Salaün has, and to me, he's a very intriguing prospect with a lot of potential. In the French league, he averaged 9 points a game, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and he was not efficient. 37% from the floor, 33% from 3, 77% from the free throw line. Only 42% of his twos did he make, and he averaged 1.5 turnovers, so a negative assist to turnover ratio. In addition to that, in his 23 minutes a game, 1.2 steals, 0.2 blocks, not great, and 2.5 fouls. Also not very good considering the minutes, but you get the sense from this, he's a very raw player. And if you don't watch the tape and you just look at the stats, there's a lot of questions as to why a guy like Salaün is being projected to be a first-round pick or even a lottery pick, which is where he is. But you would question, why is this guy being projected as a first-rounder? And here's why. He's a great off-the-ball mover. Like, he does a really good job of finding space, using his IQ to find little weaknesses and holes, whether that's looking for a three-pointer where he tends to find it more above the break, top of the three-point line, or cutting off the baseline where he's really good at getting to the basket. He's a fluid mover, and at 6'9", 220, I don't know what it is about him. He just looks a lot bigger. I would not be surprised if he continues to grow and ends up being like 6'10", 6'11". He's a really fluid mover for his size. Like, most people his size do not move as well as he does. And he makes quick decisions for the most part when he gets the ball. It doesn't stick. He's making a pass. He's trying to, dribble past his defender or, just make a quick play. I would say also there are times when he's at his best where he's able to get really low on his drives going to the basket. And that really helps him at his size just get around defenders. And he plays with a lot of energy and activity overall. And then defensively, I think he's similar to offense where he's got a good ability to find space. He does a good job of just understanding defensive rotations, and he's got really good length on defense. Now, on the flip side, like I mentioned before, he's really raw. And so there's a few things that, kind of show up. Number one is his shot selection, which is not great. And that's being kind. He has confidence sometimes, I would say, where that kind of hurts him. And then there's other times where it seems like he's just trying to get a shot up because he's kind of disappeared for a few minutes and he's got the ball and now it's his turn to shoot. So he's got to improve upon that, just being a little more patient, finding the flow of the game. He's got to improve his ball handling, and specifically in traffic. There's a few times he lost the ball in the couple of games I watched, and it was more so when he was trying to dribble in between guys. We would get ripped. And similarly to the raw aspect of his game, there are times where he can be out of control and either dribble into traffic, just run over somebody, set a really aggressive screen that's kind of unnecessary. Just at times he's just not in control. And then his hands are okay. Like, there's a few times where he had good cuts to the basket but just couldn't catch the ball. And so that's something that I'm a little bit unsure about as we move forward. I do think, though, he's a good athlete, and I think that's something that can improve. So would I draft Salaün? I would say maybe to yes. And the reason why it's maybe to yes is because it depends on who I am, what team do I have. If I'm a development team in this year's draft, I would take a chance on a guy like Salant because there's a lot of role players in this draft. There's not a lot of guys who, in my opinion, have high potential, and Salant is one of those guys. I think he goes somewhere between 6 and 14. Teams like Portland, San Antonio, and potentially Chicago, depending on what happens with their moving parts, DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine. If they go down the development path, I think he makes sense. If they're trying to win now, I don't think he does. I would say 55% confidence with Salant because of the questions. He's definitely a high-risk, high-reward guy in this year's draft. And without a ton of high-reward guys, I do think he goes higher than maybe people think. I'm curious, what do you guys think about Salant? And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.